Simon Cowell's jaw drops, exploding head. 10-year-old Filipino boy's voice stuns the world. AGT 2025. From the moment 10-year-old Mateo Santos stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage, something in the room shifted. He was tiny, barely tall enough to reach the microphone, but his eyes shimmered with a quiet strength that made even the restless audience settle. Backstage, producers whispered about how nervous he looked, but what they didn't know was that Mateo wasn't performing tonight for fame, or glory, or even the golden buzzer. He was here for someone who couldn't stand beside him, his mother. Mateo had grown up in a small coastal town in the Philippines, where nights were filled with the sound of waves and mornings with the hum of his mother's sewing machine. She worked tirelessly, fixing torn clothes, stitching school uniforms, making sure Mateo never felt the heavy weight of their struggles. She always said the same thing, "Anak, kindness is our greatest wealth." When she fell seriously ill months earlier, Mateo clung to that message like a lifeline. With medical bills piling up and hope sinking fast, an opportunity appeared: auditions for AGT 2025 in Manila. His mother smiled through her pain and whispered, "Go make the world hear your heart." Now, standing before Simon Cowell, Heidi Klum, Sofia Vergara, and Howie Mandel, Mateo clasped the microphone with shaking hands. "What's your dream?" Simon asked, leaning forward, studying the boy carefully. Mateo swallowed. "My dream," he said softly, "is to help my mom get better. And, to share something good with people. Something that makes them feel less alone." The honesty in his voice hushed the entire theater. When the music cue played, the crowd expected a sweet child's melody. Instead, Mateo delivered a voice so powerful, so heartbreakingly pure, that the first note sent chills rippling across the arena. Shock painted Simon's face instantly, his mouth falling open as if he'd forgotten how to breathe. The judges exchanged stunned glances. Even the late-night cameramen, used to talent after talent, steadied their lenses with trembling hands. But it wasn't just Mateo's voice, it was the way he sang. Every lyric carried a story, every rise and fall of melody seemed to pull invisible strings inside every heart. Scenes of his life flashed through his mind: his mother lying weakly in bed, his neighbors who brought food when times were tough, strangers who slipped coins into their donation box with a smile. All of this, all the kindness he'd seen in his short life, poured out of him like light spreading across darkness. Within seconds, people in the audience wiped tears. A woman in the front row clasped her hands over her heart. A man removed his cap as if in reverence. The judges leaned in, fully lost in the ocean of sound this little boy was creating. It was as if he wasn't performing a song, he was performing a prayer. Halfway through the song, something unexpected happened, a moment that changed everything. Mateo's voice cracked. Just slightly. Just enough to reveal the truth behind his strength. He paused, eyes watering, breath unsteady. It was clear he was fighting the weight of fear and love and desperation all at once. The theater went silent. But before doubt could swallow him, someone in the audience began softly chanting, "You got this, little man." Another voice joined. Then another. Soon, hundreds of people, strangers from all walks of life, backgrounds, and beliefs, were encouraging him in unison. Their voices blended like a warm embrace rising from the darkness. Mateo lifted his head. He inhaled. And with a trembling but determined smile, he sang again, stronger, braver, fuller than before. It wasn't just talent anymore. It was human connection, the spark that lights up the world when people choose compassion over distance. His final note soared, clear, golden, unforgettable. The room erupted. People leapt to their feet, cheering, crying, shouting his name. Heidi covered her mouth. Sophia blinked rapidly through tears. Howie stood up first, applauding with a proud grin. But Simon Cowell, known for being nearly impossible to impress, sat perfectly still. His jaw hung open, eyes glossy, disbelief turning into awe. Then, without a word, he stood. He pressed the golden buzzer. Confetti exploded from the ceiling like stars falling just for Matteo. The boy gasped, his hands shaking as he looked up, overwhelmed. Backstage, his mother, watching through a screen, sobbed into her hands as people around her embraced her. In that moment, surrounded by music and cheers and golden rain, Matteo realized something profound. Kindness had come full circle. All the love his family had shown others was now returning to them in ways they could never have imagined. As the confetti settled, Simon stepped forward and said softly, "Matteo, you didn't just stun us, you reminded us what humanity sounds like." And that became the heart of his story. Not fame, not a trophy, but a message echoing far beyond the stage. A boy with a voice of gold teaching the world that compassion is a language everyone understands. In the end, Matteo didn't just sing to save his mother. He sang to remind millions that hope is real, kindness matters, and even the smallest voices can create the biggest miracles.